welcome everyone to another episode of the Chamber Podcast. Today I'm thrilled to receive Whitney Lubin, the founder of Haitian in Tech. And Whitney, we love you very much. You are a Escada Passport Sipet, you're a ACAF member, and you are also the latest winner of our business pitch competition. Welcome on the show, Whitney. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. And it's always a pleasure to be with you guys here at Scale Up.
And we absolutely want to know better about not only what you're doing at Asian Tech, but also your personal journey. What led you to start Haitian Tech?
Okay. It's all about when you start. Like, when do I start the story? So in terms of starting Haitians in Tech, I think it's a little bit important for people to know like how I got into tech. Because I think that's really what laid the foundation for me to say, okay, this is something I think is needed. So for me, I didn't take the traditional route into tech. Yeah, the Haitian parents is doctor, engineer, avocat, right? And so I'm the type of person, I try all of them. Okay. So when I went to school, first thing, pre-med, biological science major, and it wasn't until maybe the end of my sophomore year, I was like, this is not what I want to do. And so then I changed my major to international affairs, and that's what I ended up getting my degree in at Florida State University. And then I moved down here, and I worked with a Haitian attorney actually at his law office. And it was a great experience, Gordon Law Office. It was a really great experience. And I learned so much, just seeing how he serviced the community and how active. And it was around a time like, a lot of people were experiencing issues with, their homes and then so seeing what he was doing for the community was very inspiring. But I realized just from all the paperwork that was being filed, I was like, law was not exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to basically go into tech. And so
How did you know that you wanted to go into tech? Is it because there's like something specific in the tech word that was appealing to you? Any specific person inspiring you to go that route?
I think it's just that I always recognize I was like a builder type of person. But if I see a problem, I like to figure out what pieces are needed to solve for it. And so I needed something that was a little bit more hands on. And so basically, I got exposed to tech through community events where I was able to see, entrepreneurs pitch. I was able to go to hackathons. And so that exposed me to what was happening in the tech space and what investors were looking for.
Talking about that, you were exposed to hackathon. Was it like through your school, university years, or like really? Do you feel like this is something that we promote enough in our community?
I definitely don't think it's something that we promote enough in our community. So it wasn't through school that so this was after I graduated. I was in a professional setting. And so I was looking for extracurricular activities that were happening in the community, professional networking activities. So there was like a Miller Lite pitch competition. And one of the hosts on Shark Tank, Damon, he was the main host of the Miller Lite competition. So I would go to pitch competitions like that. And I got involved with Black Tech Week, which is at the time they were based in Miami. They had their first tech conference. It was at the first Black Tech conference, I would say even in the US. And so they were hosting these conferences to bring, minorities into the tech space. And so I was just learning more about what does it mean to be in tech. Do I have to go back for a 4-year degree to be in the space? And so being able to be amongst professionals where like, no, I'm self-taught. And I've been working in this field for X amount of years at this big Fortune 100 tech company, it made it possible for me to say, okay, I can get into this field. And the main thing that they emphasizes like, you can a lot of this information, Google University online. You can learn online and build a portfolio to demonstrate the skills that you have. And so that's really, I think a lot of it was just me self-directed in terms of like the networking events that interested me. Um, but I think it also was like the community itself, Felicia Hatcher and Derek Pearson, they're the ones who launched Black Tech Week. If they had it set up that, I don't know if I would have gone into tech, but because they created that first year, it really opened my eyes to all the possibilities. And from then, I was just like, okay,
You sold.
yeah, I was old, and it went from there, and it's been a great success.
All right. So now that you went into tech, did you start like your career in tech and then you find out that you wanted to be creating this other space, which is like the Haitian in tech with some specific purpose. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it's funny. So for me, I just literally went to Google and I was looking for other Haitians who were in tech. So I put Haitians in tech. I was expecting to come across like an article, where they shared like, oh, here are some top 10 Haitian technologists. And I couldn't find that. And so I was like, okay, is this domain available? And so I got the domain. And then from there, I didn't really know what I was going to do with the domain, but at the time I was going through, I had just completed a coding boot camp. This was all part of like my journey, my self-taught journey. I completed a coding boot camp, and the thing with coding boot camps is like they're fast paced. And so by the end of it, like at least for myself, because I know people who did the coding boot camp before they finished, they had a job. Me, that was not my story. Um, I was gonna take my time to make sure I learned the thing, and I didn't learn it in the 3 months that the boot camp required. And so after, I made sure to focus on creating my own projects so that I could make sure I actually retain those skills that I learned, and make sure that I really had an in-depth understanding of the full stack development, like that process. So I had the domain, and I was like, you know what? Let me make a landing page with this domain. And so the first thing I did was create a landing page where people could sign up for a newsletter for Haitians in tech. So they could learn about other Haitians in the tech community. And so that's really how Haitians in tech started. It was just a newsletter. Um, and because of the work I had done, with Black Tech Week, because I volunteered in a lot of tech events through my journey, and I had made a lot of relationships in the city of Miami in the tech space. People were really interested in investing in making sure the Haitian diaspora in South Florida was included in the whole tech movement that was growing in Florida.
But what year was that?
Um, so this was actually during COVID, because Haitians on the Tech was 2020, February of 2020, and this was when everybody was on what's that app? It was an app, a voice app, Clubhouse. So, yeah, it was the year of 2020, when, we had a lot of like our community partners reach out and say, hey, I love what you're doing with this newsletter. How can we support? And so I was like, hey, this is the direction that I think we should go with this based on the conversations that we were hosting on Clubhouse. This is the feedback I'm getting from a lot of the Asian community. And so we pivoted from just being a newsletter to saying, how can we create an organization that not only is like a networking opportunity, but allows us to use our skills to build out solutions that are going to directly impact our community. And so that allowed us to pivot more towards being a civic tech organization. And some of my prior work had been in civic tech with other organizations. So I was able to, again, bring all those skills I had learned in my journey and apply it to the Haitian community.
Now, using a term that's totally new to us, civic tech. Yeah. Can you give us like more details of what that entails to be working in the civic tech field?
Yeah. So civic tech, and it also goes by the term like public interest technology. It's a term that's meant to just illustrate the collaboration between technologists, local government, and even like local nonprofits and just community members around addressing community issues and using technology as a tool to to address those. An example is I did a fellowship with Code for America, and that's when I did a affordable housing project with the city of Miami and their Department of Innovation. And so the prompt was for that fellowship, okay, how do we address um, affordable housing in Miami? Uh, so that took me to working with like nonprofits in Miami who dealt with affordable housing, whether it's renting, homelessness, home buyer programs. And we ended up working with a department that gives affordable housing credits to builders. So builders, they get credits to incentivize them to build affordable housing. And so there's an application process that they have to go through. And the department that basically approved those builders for those credits, um, they the whole process was boxes and boxes of paperwork. And so what we discovered in our fellowship project was that, you know, one of the issues that contributes largely to the affordable housing was the fact that you had, even though there's incentives for affordable housing to be created, the process was so cumbersome. Most of these builders aren't willing to go through the process. Um, the process wasn't digitized. You have a department that with limited resources having to go through paper documents, you know, like I'm unstabling documents and scanning them just to get them into a digital format. And so the idea of civic tech is that, okay, we notice this problem about affordable housing. What is a technical solution that could help alleviate that problem? And so that was an example of kind of like the work that we did.
Very, very interesting. So moving forward with now Haitian and tech. So you pivoted from being an e-newsletter to transforming into an organization. And what is like the mission of your organization, and what was like your first, I would say, big project?
So the mission of the organization, it has evolved. So again, we focused initially more so on creating community, hosting conversations, getting ideas from the community about, what they thought of tech and how it could impact the community. Then we pivoted towards supporting open source tech projects, like we mentioned, civic tech projects. Two projects that right now are like my main focus are Voix, which is and we post these projects on our GitHub. GitHub is like a code-based repository where people host the code for either their websites or their apps. And then open source is a terminology just to say that it is technology that can be reproduced by anybody. You could copy my code and actually customize it and make it even better. And one of the things I realized is that we don't have a robust open source community for Haitian technologists. And so, in order to really, for civic tech and for public interest technology to flourish, it's all dependent on open source. So the idea is through Haitians in Tech.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here because I'm trying to understand. So you say that we don't have an open source available to the Haitian community,
We
or
don't.
to the Haitian technologists. Why? Why is that? Cannot they cannot access the other open source technologies?
Yes, they can't.
Why would it need to be specific to them? I'm trying to get.
Yeah. So, open source is available to everybody, and there's a whole bunch of tools available to Haitian technologists. What we're trying to do is build open source technologies that are related to the Haitian context.
Oh, okay.
I got it. Does it make sense? So I'll give an example. So Haiti City Portal is a open source project that we're supporting at Haitians in Tech. So there's a GitHub for it. The idea is that we need to make it easier for Haitian technologists to deploy city websites for municipalities in Haiti. And the reason being is I get reached out to all the time by people in Haiti, technologists, people who have relationships with local municipalities, and they want to get a website developed for the municipality. And they want to be able to share with the diaspora, the work that they're doing in their community and ways that they can invest and contribute. Now, it's bandwidth. If you are going to create, if you create a, if it's not open source, what you end up having is each software engineer is building from scratch. Versus if you create an open source repo, they're building off of the previous works. Yeah. And they're just customizing it. And the previous work is built in a way that understands the context of Haiti. So instead of having like a regular chat box for taking in, let's say, citizen input, it integrates WhatsApp, understanding that within the context of Haiti, more people use WhatsApp as a tool. And so it's about the technologies being relevant to the community that you're trying to serve. Maybe it's not WhatsApp that you implement. Maybe it's like being able to just text a short code. Short codes are like, like when it says hashtag 30301, text uh, I don't know, 8 to this number to hash, like implementing that. Maybe that's easier. A low technology solution that allows people to engage with their local municipalities, get information, get emergency response information about what's happening. That kind of custom tech solutions. And a lot of times people think tech and they think, oh, AI, like the big next sexy thing, blockchain. But sometimes when we're talking about civic tech, it's about applying technologies that are appropriate for the context of the person that you're serving. And so that's what we're trying to do with Haitians Attack is to create an open source solution that makes it easy for technologists, Haitian technologists specifically, to get up and running and deliver those solutions to their community.
Perfect. I completely get it now. So, in your journey with Haitian in tech, have you been able to partner with other organizations in Haiti, or have you been able to work directly in Haiti too?
Yeah, so we've built some really great relationships, and I'm looking for them to expand. Right now, the focus has been collaborating with entities who are already doing great work in the tech space. The Haiti Tech Summit with Christine Nitiam, they like that was one of those things that opened my eyes and was like, we got stuff going on in Haiti.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of disappointed that I haven't had a chance to attend, but I've been following their journey with that conference in Haiti for a long time. And I think that's one of those things that needs to be supported by the diaspora. Marbalin, he's doing yes, doing great work. He has the Dev Haiti conference that's coming up in December. Those things are really credible things that they're doing in Haiti. But what I think our job within the diaspora and what Haitians in Tech wants to do is we have aspiring young technologists in the diaspora. How do we educate them about what the landscape of tech looks like in Haiti so that we help them actually collaborate? Because it's not just about us collaborating with them, but how do we create a roadmap as to, hey, if how do you what does tech look like? What does the tech ecosystem look like in Haiti? Creating that curriculum for the Haitian diaspora who are just now breaking into tech so that instead of it taking, uh, you know, 3 years to learn about Mark, Alain, Christine, all these individuals, Daphne, she was doing Startup Brian. Yes, Startup Brian. They're learning it within a 3-month course. They're learning all about these individuals and now they can start collaborating with these change makers.
Yes.
And I forgot to mention Chris and Kim through the Global Startup Ecosystem, which is kind of like the mother organization that hosts the Haiti Tech Summit. They host like an annual internship program where they help train Haitian individuals and place them with international internship providers. And so we have participated several years with interns through that program. And it's been a great experience. And I'm still connected with those technologists. And so that's usually every summer, that's like the highlight is the summer internships for me. So those are the types of collaborations that I look forward to.
That's great. So, tell us what type of challenge are you facing in the tech space as a Haitian, as a woman, and what type of advice would you give anybody who's interested in getting into tech but feel somehow intimidated?
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with as a Haitian. Um, so one of the I'll say it's a challenge. But I think sometimes it has to be a challenge for it to be impactful. If it's not impactful, then it's okay, it's gonna be easy, right? So it's the fact that you have to find those people who are willing to invest in the idea through their resources, through their time. So when it comes to Haitians in tech, I've been focusing a lot on finding other Haitians in not just where I work, at the company I work with, but at other companies, even if those companies are competitors, right? Finding other Haitians who are willing to, gather their resources, come together and sharing the same vision. And really use our resources to bring Haitians into positions of influence where they can drive these huge entities to contribute to the changes that we want to see in our community. Not just in Haiti, but Haitians in the diaspora. Again, I think we need to focus on making sure we're upskilling ourselves so that we can service those in Haiti appropriately. Because I tell people this all the time. Like, I was really impressed with how the tech ecosystem was in Haiti. And I felt like it was way ahead of what we were doing here in the diaspora. Yeah.
And so, one thing you was saying that, do you have like any numbers on how many, I would say, young people, young Haitian that are actually involved in the tech sector here, at least in South Florida or
So
in the States? Because one of the thing is that I don't know if you work also in education, to give people like the information so we can redirect them to those new professions now, yeah, in the tech industry, because everybody, we are still stuck in medical, in the medical field and some stuff, and we know that a lot of those profession, they not gonna exist like years forward. So what your organization or what other organization are doing right now in order to redirect like the youth towards like those new future professions?
So one of the programs, summer internship programs we work with is Get My Interns. It's at a high school internship program, and usually they have it both in Miami-Dade and Broward, but we usually pull our interns from Miami-Dade. And so every year we participate in that, and that actually has interns from all across Miami-Dade. And so in terms of numbers, honestly, I've only had a handful of interns who were Haitian from that program. I'm always looking. Like at it, May comes around, that's when we start signing up and creating our job postings. And then June, we're doing our interviews. I'm like voraciously looking for Haitian students to participate in this internship program to apply, but I haven't had much luck. So I don't have concrete numbers, but based on my experience interviewing high schoolers all throughout Miami-Dade, we don't we're not actually participating in these programs. It's a paid internship, 40 hours a week for high school students. And this is available to all Miami-Dade high school students. And my internships, when I do it through that program, are virtual. So again, like, we've tried to eliminate as many of like the the barriers as possible. I think it possibly has to do with it, and that this is work that we'll have to take on at Haitians Attack, is engaging more with the schools to have a higher concentration of that population to make sure they're driving these students to these internship opportunities, because with the give Get My Interns program, the students have to apply through their counselor for the program. So maybe they're not applying. Maybe that's the issue. And so we're trying to figure out where is the issue in the pipeline, basically, that's causing for them not to access these opportunities. Um,
Do you have in mind any specific barriers for specifically like the Haitian community, the youth in the Haitian community? What do you think will be like the main barriers for them not to be interested at all in
I
this?
think it's so going back to what I was talking about creating custom solutions. I think we need to articulate technology from a position that from the context of Haiti, because as much as they might not be interested in tech, the Haitian diaspora, Haitian Flag Day, they're gonna come out with that. They're out there representing. Okay,
Labor Day, they come there represent.
yeah, they're representing no matter what, right? So giving them an opportunity to see how is it applicable to their culture as a member of the diaspora and to Haiti, I think that is a way to engage their interest. And so creating a curriculum that we right now what we're focusing on is creating that curriculum that we can supply to those educators that gives them the context that they need to have when they're engaging with their students so that they can lead them into in this direction to stay, I think, where we need to go.
Mhm. We were talking about eventually there's like different professions that are not going to exist in the next 10 years, let's say. So what specific field would you recommend to anybody looking to get into tech and knowing that there's a lot of things that will be necessary right now?
Um, it's hard to say what field because I'll say a field and then 3, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, it might change. What I will say is that,
Or maybe what would be like the basic skills that you need to be able to find your place like in this future, just
so
a future.
I know exactly what I'm gonna say because I had this conversation with a colleague of mine last night. That you need to have a growth mindset. That's it. And what that means is you can't be afraid of change and you need to be proactive in learning, you know, always willing to just, like I said, Google University, YouTube University, there isn't one skill, one physician that I can direct people to because the rate of which things are changing so fast in terms of technology, especially with AI, it would be foolhardy. This wouldn't be relevant, in the next probably couple of months if I were to give a specific role or a specific skill. But a growth mindset, that is indispensable because it allows you to adapt to the changes and attain the new skills. Understand how to use the tools around you. Everything is learnable. And if you have that adaptable mindset to say, I can learn anything and use the internet to learn and to engage and to reach out to people. Like, don't be intimidated. I know I think that's the imposter syndrome is probably the biggest thing that impacts people's success because they think they have to be a know-it-all. No, I always enter every meeting say, okay, what do you mean? What is that acronym? I know this is you may be repeating yourself, but can you restate that? Explain it as if you're talking to a fifth grader. Like, you don't need to feel intimidated by people who have X degrees or X amount of years of experience. You need to be confident in the fact that you have the ability to ask questions. That is your greatest strength. And I think that will help you overcome any and all challenges.
And we're not just talking to the youth. We're talking to everybody. Everybody. Like
If you're transitioning from another career, it applies.
also entrepreneurs, business owners, how they can really take advantage of technology. Are you also working with business owners to help them, exceed like their services and do way better, be more efficient in what they're doing?
So we don't have any specific programming where we're focusing on that explicitly. When we do have opportunities to speak on panels like our board and discuss what we think Haitian businesses should be doing, um, they should be, especially within the Haitian community, we need to own our data.
Mhm.
Um, to your point about how many of our Haitian student or our Haitian youth are in the technology field, I don't know, but I should be able to go to a Haitian organization focused on education and know they have the correct data pipelines to have that exact information. And so I think we need to focus on making sure our organizations who service our community have the right infrastructure, technology infrastructure, to pull in the right data so that we can build solutions that are scalable and that actually meet the need, and where we can measure the impact in a very precise way. So I think, and that might mean like implementing AI tools, implementing, it might mean implementing some technologies, but I would say I would have to have an in-depth conversation to see how it need to be structured, and that's just not something that right now with the bandwidth we have that we've been focusing on.
So, Whitney, what would be for you the most rewarding aspect of the work that you have been doing with Haitian Insect?
Um, I so one of the interns that I did have a Haitian intern through the Give Miami. He was a high schooler, senior at the time. And he's completed his computer science degree, and now he's working at a huge fintech company. For me, it's like following the journey of the people that, either I mentored or, that I was able to interact with. If they're just breaking into tech, we host like book a mentor session on our website so that you can schedule some time to jump on a Zoom call with me if you're thinking about breaking to tech, and ask me a question, and I can kind of like give you like my recommendations or connect me with someone I think that might be more appropriate. When people tell me, hey, I was able to, like, that's what excites me. So I think for me, I'm more of a person to person type. I find value more in those interactions. And of course, like when I see people pull, like with our GitHub, when people pull a repo and they make a contribution to the project, that makes me excited. I like people. I like to see transformation in their lives. That's what kind of like makes me happy.
So as of now, do you also have like a database of Haitian insects within United States, or I don't know, eventually?
So for us, Haitians in tech is trying to build a community. So we are not everyone self ops into the community basically. So right now we're currently on Slack. We have a Slack community, and on our socials. The idea, the hope would be eventually that we would have like a robust directory for people to be a part of. And I think for the most part, from a lot of businesses, it's going to be everything's going to be community based. So everybody's building a community. And so yeah, that's what we're doing, is building a community where people can find technologists, and find projects to collaborate with. And so right now it currently lives on Slack. We may move to Discord, another tool, but creating that space where people know, hey, if I'm a Haitian in technology or I'm interested in it, where do I go? Haitians in tech, and then go from there.
All right. So if we want to support what Haitian Intake is doing, how can we find you? How can we get access to that Slack group, for instance?
Yeah. So on the website, you'll be able to find the link to the Slack group to join. So haitiansattack.com, and how you can support. We're going to be participating in Give Miami Day, which is the Miami Foundation hosts it as a philanthropy event every year. So it'll be November 17th to like the 21st, I believe. And so we are participating in Give Miami Day, and raising funding to support the programming that we're doing through Asians Attack. So if you could support and share that campaign, that would be great. If you go to givemiamiday.com, you can search Haitians in Tech and find our organization page that way. But yeah, also just reaching out to us. We have a WhatsApp group as well, a WhatsApp community, because of course our community is on WhatsApp. So we have to be relevant to where our community exists. So we're not only on Slack. If you have, if you can't get on Slack, you can join us on WhatsApp. And we have different channels within WhatsApp in the same way that we have within Slack. So maybe you're not in Miami, but you're in Orlando. Within the WhatsApp, there's a Haitians in Tech Orlando group, and connect with other Haitians in technology within your vicinity. And that's really what we want to grow is chapters of Haitians in Tech that are community led. It's not going to be me who's going to grow Haitians in Tech Orlando or Boston. It's going to be you, those who really want to bring all the Haitian technologists together. And we just want to create a platform to allow you to do that and give you all the resources to allow for you to lead in your community. And so for anyone who's interested in participating in that, feel free to reach out to me. And that's how we like to elaborate.
Thank you so much, Whitney. I'm just gonna ask one more question. Do you have like any specific I would say information or website where business owner can find different grants so they can implement technology in their businesses?
So usually, so being I'm in like one of the probably top tech companies out there. I would say all those top tech companies have startup programs, or I won't even say it's really exclusive to startup, but they have business resources, grants that they make available. So like they'll have credits for their cloud services. So they have technology credits set, and so it's like in kind grants, I would call it. So I would actually tap more into that. I do think that when it comes to our Haitian businesses, in terms of these corporate entities, we may not be as tapped in as we can be. So their supplier networks, and they all have like diversity supplier programs. So I would probably recommend tapping into those pre-existing programs and pre-existing networks.
I feel like we're gonna probably need you to come back to have like a specific conversation with our members at a breakfast and learn maybe where you could probably present more in details those type of program for the business community.
Yeah, I love to.
Alrighty. It was a pleasure with me to have you today on the show. I've learned so much and you give me like this you communicate me somehow like this passion that you offer it. I feel like I'm this person who's very, I would say, curious and I wanna go into tech a little bit, but at the same time I feel like, maybe it's gonna be too difficult and everything. So I'm looking from floor, I'm getting in and out of it, but you just give me like I would say some type of confidence maybe to look further into that because I feel like it's always like a great compliment to whatever you already has as in terms of background and experience, and that will just like make you do your work even better. So thank you so much for all the insight. It was very informative and inspiring, and we wish you success in your journey with Asian and Tech. Thank you everyone for watching today the Chamber podcast, and we're waiting for you for another 8 minutes. Bye bye.